Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
He's an international keynote speaker, award-winning host for NBC, competitor on the Emmy-nominated American Ninja Warrior, and author of the book Fail Proof: Become the Unstoppable You. Alex Glover, welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Oh my God, I love the Ninja Warrior thing. That is so freaking cool. Especially, no offense, but I love it that women do that too. It's so cool.
Oh yeah, they don't just do it, they crush it. Yeah, so it's awesome.
I see them. Yeah, I mean, congratulations on all of your success. And my podcast I launched about a year ago about becoming unstoppable. So I thought maybe we would just jump in right away with your story and helping my audience to bounce back better after challenges, since let's face it, we've all had them.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love that we connect right away with Unstoppable. And that's really what it is I've just found in my own life and working with thousands of people that it's those moments of adversity, setbacks, or just internal doubt and questioning that can sometimes cause us to stop.
Right.
And really it is as simple as the people who keep going, growing, and getting better get to goals.
Right.
And the people who stop don't. So then it just comes down to, how do we make sure that we keep going and that we don't stop?
Right. So in order to get unstuck and be unstoppable, we got to start where we're stopped. And you're saying it's doubt and uncertainty. So how did you come to this with your story? And do you have any experiences that you want to share about challenges and self-doubt, uncertainty, failures? Because we've all had so many in the last 2 years. That's why I launched the podcast. And how can we overcome them?
And I'm right there with you. I mean, 2020 knocked me on my booty. I tried to get up and it was like, nah, why don't you hang out down there for a little bit? Right. And that's, it's an experience. And these have happened throughout my life where it's ones where, I don't want them. I don't wish for them. And as they're going, I'm like, this isn't the best, but it is where you find a lot of great things. You can find gifts, you can find what I call character growth and grit, and you meet people that maybe you otherwise wouldn't. So they're not a time to simply just shut down.
Right.
In fact, I'd say we have to be open. And so what's helped me a lot is, I want to say one thing, like if we're saying no to something that doesn't serve us, that isn't stopping. That's actually honoring our big yeses. But usually I found that, we'll hit a setback and then we're like, it doesn't go great. And so this is what I think is the most dangerous is quiet disengagement.
Yeah.
Just like slowly back away from it,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I love that. So for our audience, define what is quiet disengagement.
Yeah. So I think quiet disengagement is, listen, we're adults, no one's when we were kids, if you didn't want to go practice the piano, you still had to do it.
Yeah.
But we're adults.
Right.
So if you don't really want to pitch any more ideas, if you don't really want to go to that workout class, if you don't really want to pick up the piano, no one's going to make you. You're an adult.
Right.
But if you do really want to do it, which most of us really do want to do these things, they're just a little tough or uncomfortable or embarrassing, then we just have to do it. And the biggest, I hate to use the word hack because it's not a hack. It's just very straightforward, but it's overlooked, is what I call make it real. So if you're listening right now to Lisa and I talking and you have a goal or something that you've always wanted to do or whatever it may be, just make it real right now. What could you do to bring it out of like idea land and ethereal and impossible and just make it in the real world? Is it calling someone? Is it signing up for a class? Is it buying an equipment that you might need? Or is it just, if you want to get in a good shape, is it just walking to the end of the block? Like, how can you make it real today?
Like take one step And that'll help you overcome all the uncertainty and the challenges and self-doubt that we've all been forced to deal with lately, and the failures. And do you have any other tools? I'm not going to call them hacks because you said you want to call them hacks, on how our audience can become better leaders in their life and realize their fullest self and accomplish their biggest goals?
Oh, it's such a good question. And I would say, one thing I write in the book is ambiguity is where goals die. And what that means is, it's a messy time right now. It's hectic, it's noisy, it's pressure filled, it's confusing. So a lot of things can kind of fall in the gray area, whether we're leading ourselves or others. So I would just say, get really clear, get real simple. What is a goal that you want? Okay, for me, I want to hit a buzzer on American Ninja Warrior. That's a very clear goal.
I love that goal. That is a rock star goal. That is not a regular goal.
I appreciate it. I want it bad. I'll tell you that.
Hit that buzzer. Boom.
I know, right? And, if it's people in your life, like, I'll be honest, like, one of my siblings and I have kind of strayed a little bit. So I also say, leadership and goals, it's not always necessarily career or lose X amount of pounds or close, 5 deals. It's all around us. So leadership, I believe, is about care and support, meaning connect with people. I was fortunate to win U.S. Lacrosse Coach of the Year in my first season of coaching. And I would say the building block of that was just that I feel like I cared a lot about the players and connected with them. And then they cared about me. And we had a bond that we were like, we'll take on anybody because we had that love.
Because people don't, how does that quote go? They don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care.
Yeah, that's so good. That's real talk.
But I mean, so if you show up interested in other people, genuinely interested in taking interest in them, then we can become better leaders. And how can that help us accomplish more in our career too?
Yeah. I feel like with Lisa, with what we do, we work with a lot of different people. And, one question that I'll often ask people if I'm going to be working with them for a while is like, what are your goals? What do you want? And what do you like about this job? And what do you not like about this job? And it doesn't mean it's all going to align, but it also just helps us because I think sometimes we feel like we're going to ruffle feathers, or it's going to, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot, or we're going to disapprove. So we kind of hide these things, versus we're just honest and open with them. And we know, okay, this person wants to work with us for a year, but they have other aspirations. All right, well, let's make this year the best for them and us together before we do go off in different ways. So I just think having that clarity and actually connecting goes such a long way.
So clarity, connecting, cultivating relationships and providing value of actually reverse engineering goals is really important too, isn't it?
Yes, 100%. And, that's something where I'll be honest, I think I'm continually improving on that and this is going to sound, but it's very important, is our beliefs are so important. And I've kind of always had this belief that goals are really hard. And some goals are really hard, but some actually are pretty straightforward. And I've had to call myself out on sometimes. I'm like, Alex, I think you're making this harder than it needs to be just so that it's a hard goal.
Right.
So I just encourage anyone, if you can, simply see your goal and lay out steps that will get you there and then do them. You won.
I love that, because I love that you mentioned just take that. What's that one thing that you can do to get you unstuck? Like, let's say you're stuck, but you have this big goal and it's scary and you're outside your comfort zone because it's a big goal. How can you reverse engineer it? Like, what, for our audience, you guys, just what is one step you can do today? Because I want you to really think about not hiding behind, what was that you called it? I love it when you tell where we're just hiding.
Oh yeah, I mean, we'll go behind ambiguity. We'll just get quiet disengagement.
Quiet disengagement. I've never heard that before. I love it, and I knew right away what it meant, because I think, working from home, it's easy to disengage, isn't it?
It is, and we can hide. I've done that, and it's a time where Mel Robbins has that great line of "no one's coming for you," and meaning it's it does need to begin within you. But I'll also say this, some of the best chapters in my life have been ones where, so let's go on that topic of stuck, because I love what you
Yeah,
said.
I love that stuck.
Yeah. If we're stuck, it means, think about someone who's stuck in the mud or snow or whatever it might be. You need movement, right? And
Right.
oftentimes,
Forward movement.
yeah, right. Something to get us unstuck. And a lot of times if you're stuck in the mud, what often happens? You're stuck in the snow. Most times you call somebody and they come and help you out. So what I mean by that is to be open. I remember before I won US Lacrosse Coach of the Year, I was going to quit coaching because I didn't think my heart was in it. And I remember my mom was like, I think you love this. Why don't you give it one more season? And that was the season I got named head coach. That was the season and it transformed my life. It was my grad school. It honestly made me into a man coaching lacrosse. And even with Ninja Warrior, I was stuck because of my own insecurities and uncomfortable and doubt. But the American Ninja Warrior community was like, the athletes were like, hey, we're training Tuesday night, be there. And them saying that and doing that, well, I was like, well, I guess I got to get there Tuesday. And guess what? Then I'm unstuck because I'm with this community. And so I say, be open to people helping you out. Check the pride, check the ego, be open to people, and know that it's also okay to reach out to people and let them know that maybe you need a little spark.
Yeah, I really think that if Google was going to equal transformation, we'd all be rich and skinny and super blissfully happy. So I love the fact that you have an athletic background and you draw upon that, because I find that the discipline that it takes to be an athlete has taken you to all these other places. Don't you agree?
I do love sports very much. And they make things just very clear, yes, because you just learn how things work and that there's no substitute for showing up, and you have to learn how to work with other people, and you have to learn how to work with a variety of different feelings. And, one of my really good friends is a concert violinist. And I'm like, I've seen her dedication and I'm like, wow, like you've got it too, so I think we can grab this in different arenas. But sports is one where, I love sports. I'm going to be a jock forever. I love them.
Yeah.
And, but I will say I like the human element of sports. I like what it does for people.
Yes.
More so than I like, chasing a ball.
And it makes people better leaders. And I really love the fact that when you talked about being stuck, you're talking about just doing one thing, taking one action. And I really love the fact that you, come from such a background saying that you can almost give up. And there's another saying that I love about being 3 feet from gold. So had you given up on coaching, you wouldn't have become
so true.
And same with the Ninja Warriors. So do you have any final tidbits about being unstoppable that you want to leave our audience with, about not giving up, dreaming big, taking one step and wrapping everything up?
I love that. I really think you nailed it there, because now my mind is kind of going through my different chapters of, before winning an award hosting for NBC, I thought I was going to lose my job because I was struggling on the obstacles. And so it's to your point of, we just don't know if we push through that point, what other great things would be there. So I just encourage anyone, if you set forth a goal and it means something to you and it fires you up, don't let a temporary setback or a temporary uncomfortable moment rob you of something that might be lifelong and mean something to you forever.
I just love that advice, because you never know what is on the next level when you push through that comfort zone. And let everybody know in our audience where we can find you and your book.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Lisa. It's so it's called Fail Proof, Become the Unstoppable You, and it's on Amazon. So you can order it, Barnes and Noble as well. And please do reach out to me if you buy it, because I run these complimentary support groups where we basically get each other's back to make goals happen. It's really cool. I have one that are specifically for men, and then also men and women, and it's really wonderful.
I love it. I'm in. I'm going to join.
Hey, come on in.
Thank you so much, Alex, for being guest on WholeCEO.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Lisa.